Hello and welcome everybody to your best year yet. My name is Georgie Chinchen from Red Star Inspiration, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for being here today, and to also thank Alice Hammerley and the Coaching Institute for allowing me to modify and share their materials with you today. Okay. So this year's highlights. So in terms of, making 2013 your best year yet, it's a good starting point to reflect on the year that has been. So I'd like you to give it a moment's thought and type in the question pane, what has been one of the biggest highlights for you in 2012? What's something that's happened that's really, been memorable and happy and positive, and you look back on fondly? I'll just wait for a few of you to share. And the reason it's useful to consider this is that if we, ponder what things have been fantastic this year, perhaps you can repeat that activity again next year, or perhaps you can find a similar activity that would be a highlight for the next year. So facilitating on RILA, so a youth leadership camp, fantastic. Our trip to Hamilton Island in May, fabulous. Lots of fun experiences with friends and family, absolutely. All fantastic things, and hopefully those are all things that can be repeated in 2013, or you can come up with something similar that will be enjoyable. Okay. And if anyone else has anything that they'd like to share, feel free to do so. Okay, so all the things you can find if you don't stay behind. In the places I go, there are things that I see that I never could spell if I stopped with the Z. I'm telling you this because you're one of my friends. My alphabet starts where your alphabet ends. So on beyond Z, it's high time you were shown that you really don't know all there is to be known. Dr. Seuss. There's a lot of fantastic messages in Dr. Seuss, so thought I'd share that one. So, success principles. So there's 5 keys to success that people tend to adopt if they, are really excelling in some or all areas of their life. And so in terms of making 2013 your best year yet, I thought it would be useful to cover these topics. So firstly, it's important to know your outcome. And as part of this, it's getting clear on what it is that you actually want to achieve, what's your desired outcome. And it's also setting goals and making sure that those goals are SMART goals. And I'll go into that in a bit more detail on the next slide. So secondly, it's about taking action. So once you are clear on your outcome and you've written your SMART goals, it's vital that you take action straight away. Now obviously if you're willing to take massive action, that's great. If it's a choice between taking one small step or taking no action at all, then it's going to be much better to at least take that one step. And even more importantly is taking an action today towards your goal and then taking another step tomorrow and another step after that. And those continuous actions are what will get you towards your outcome. Number 3, it's important to have sensory acuity. Now what this means is that, it's really asking, are the actions that you're taking getting you the results that you want? And if not, what could you do instead? So testing and measuring the actions. Number 4 is to have behavioural flexibility. So if the sensory acuity check has determined that your actions are not getting you where you want to go, then it's having the behavioural flexibility to find another way, another action you could take that might get you to your goal. And the more you're willing to give something a go, and if that doesn't work, do something else, and if that doesn't work, do something else, the more successful that you're going to be. And in saying that, if there's a particular area that you want to succeed in, the more you educate yourself, the more you get assistance or read books or whatever, the more options you're likely to see for yourself. So number 5 is to operate from a physiology and a psychology of excellence. So when we're happy, we naturally smile. It works the other way around as well. So if we physically make ourselves smile, then after a while that will make us happy. And so people who tend to be happier or more confident or successful, their general physiology, their body language, their facial expressions, their posture is that they're, sitting or standing tall with their shoulders back, their head held high, looking up, a big smile on their face. And if you do that, then your mindset is much clearer, much more focused and confident, and you're much more likely to be able to achieve incredible things. Similarly, if you're spending all your day, hunched over, looking down as the typical office worker does, that's going to perhaps make you feel a bit more down. So it's important to consider sitting or standing tall, shoulders back, head held high, looking up, smiling. Welcome, Stuart. I just want to check, over to the right-hand side, you should see a big rectangle, and at the bottom of that, Stuart, there is a question box where you can type a comment. If you can't see that, there's a little rectangle with an arrow to the right that you click to be able to see it. So could I just get you to type something in the question box so I know that you're on the same page as everyone else? All right, so I have, as a number of you know, created a 5 Keys to Success document which goes into these points in more detail if you're interested. So if you are interested in a copy, send me an email and I will pass that on to you. So, SMART goals. So SMART goals are specific and simple, they're measurable and meaningful, they're achievable and written as if they have already happened. Hi Stuart, that's all right. Good to have you on board. They're realistic and responsible or ecological, so they're in your best interests and the best interests of society in general. They're timed, so they have a specific date, and they're written towards what you want. So I'll give you an example of a very poorly written goal. So this is not a SMART goal. And I'd like you to type in the question box one thing that we could possibly do to make this a little bit better. So if I was to write a goal of I want to be rich. So considering the points on the screen, what's one way that that goal of I want to be rich could be improved? Okay, need a time frame. For example, rich in 1 year. Absolutely. I want to make more money in 2013 than I did in 2012. Fantastic. Those are definitely huge improvements on that goal. Anyone else like to suggest anything? So while I just wait for another comment or two. So obviously measurable, how do you know if you're more rich? Meaningful is making sure that the goal is actually meaningful to you. So if a goal, you don't really want to achieve it or you don't see yourself as gaining anything, You know, what does that achieve? Okay, we've got a few more here. Define rich. Got that from a couple of people. Absolutely. What does rich mean? I want to make $1 million by retirement. Absolutely. I want to earn $200,000 per year. That's right. And state it in specific terms and with a time frame. Absolutely. Good work, everybody. And as an additional point, in terms of getting a goal more specific, it can be useful to think of it in terms of when you have achieved the goal, what specifically will you see, what will you hear, what will you feel, or what will you be telling yourself that means that you know that you've achieved it? So in the rich example, if you had a specific monetary value, it might be physically seeing your bank balance at that particular level. Okay, good job everybody. So, ecstatic moments. So just backtracking a little. So with those 5 keys to success, so know your outcome and setting goals, taking action, and so on and so forth. So today's presentation really is getting that first step a bit clearer, so helping you to really know what your desired outcome is for 2013. So there's a few different ways to look at it, and then hopefully after this session you'll be eager to take action, and as you are taking actions towards your desired goals, as the year progresses you can then test and measure and adjust as required.